Stepping from our ordinary world into the fantastical, Immersive XP explores the weird and wonderful imaginations behind a diverse range of themed experiences. From virtual reality to escape rooms to live-action roleplay, nothing is off the table. We'll take a deep dive into what makes these adventures worth attending and which ones to avoid. Join me on a journey to explore the extraordinary and meet the people who make dreams a reality. Welcome back to another episode of Immersive XP. I'm Taylor Ford, your non-binary host based in Southern California, seamstress by trade, silly little guy by trauma. Favorite hot beverage? Lavender chamomile tea with honey. Fun fact of the week, the cocktail that is considered the oldest is a Sazerac, which originated in New Orleans in the 1830s. The drink became very popular with the upper class and is still a staple cocktail in many bars. The Sazerac has its signature ingredients of rye whiskey, bitters, sugar, a rinse of absinthe, and a twist of lemon. During the Prohibition era, the original recipe using rye whiskey was swapped in for brandy or cognac. This week I did something special because it's my birthday today. This episode is another Feed Me a Tale, which explores any kind of food or drink-related immersive experience. I had the pleasure of being invited into the world of the obscure, located in downtown Los Angeles. If you live in Southern California, you may receive a lot of targeted ads or videos of people attending the obscure. This is a tasting experience, and I hope that this episode can give more insight into what the experience actually is and why I'm going back tonight to do some more birthday celebrating. A little about the obscure. This bar is very unique, as it is the first cocktail bar run by a distillery in California. With certain restrictions being lifted for distillers during the pandemic, this tasting experience is now doing what would have been impossible prior to 2020. To give a visual idea of what is inside, it combines fantasy with spooky elements that is my, of course, go-to aesthetic. Draping leaves and branches float high above patrons inside a candlelit and watery blue room. Behind opaque doors lies the bar, where renowned bartenders create works of art. Just beyond the first room, where the tastings are held, is a wall of candles and a glimmering waterfall. Don't worry, none of the candles are real here, as that would be far too dangerous for our very flammable beverages. For those who choose to be members, an astrology-themed bar, called the Luminary, spans 2 stories for a more intimate evening out. The tasting itself comprises of 3 spirits and 3 cocktails made from those 3 spirits, over a 90 to 120-minute time frame. Depending on which night you attend, you will either have the Season 1 menu or the Season 2 menu. I did their Season 1 menu, which was of their signature gin, brandy, and rye. For each tasting, you get a small glass with a spirit, and then a cocktail is brought out to you, made from that same spirit. What I absolutely love is that each spirit and cocktail comes with a tale and a history involved. This is narrated by the owner, Taryn, or one of the other artists involved in the cocktail creation. For someone who loves learning about how things are made and weird facts, this was the perfect experience for people like me. While everyone has their preferences on cocktails they enjoy, the Obscure does an amazing job of doing something unexpected, creating a delightful spirit and then elevating it into a cocktail with their own twist. It is very clear that their drinks are lovingly crafted, and truly, they believe in expressing the weird and wonderful. In addition to the Obscure's guided tastings, the bar is a members-only social club. How to be invited to this exclusive membership? Well, you need to go to a tasting first. Memberships start at level 1 and go to level 3. Each tier is a different monthly price and includes perks such as access to the stunning members-only area, exclusive events, reservations for yourself and 3 additional guests, discounts, expanded drink options, and more. As someone who is sick of subscription-based services just to watch one show I just don't want more spoilers for, I'm proud to admit that I became a member after my tasting. This is a place I want to take dates and have an intimate evening out with my close friends. After my tasting, I was able to have a one-on-one chat with the owner, Taryn, in which we discussed their experience with the Lost Spirits Distillery, which used to be in Los Angeles, and other immersive places we love. The passion and dedication to the craft is very clear in his work. I'm definitely hoping for additional expansions and locations in the future. Things that I like. The location is very intimate, and I love a year-round spooky experience. There's plenty of friendly and talented staff who care about the presentation and experience. During the experience, they have live art or music being done on stage. Our evening had a comic book artist doing drawings that was projected onto a screen, so almost everyone could watch and admire throughout the evening. If you go to the last tasting of the evening, you can purchase food from the attached restaurant and additional drinks at the bar. I ordered the chicken sandwich, the beignets, and the sidecar cocktail. All were delicious and very reasonably priced for downtown Los Angeles. The tasting included time between each cocktail for chatting at the table. A subtle change of the light color let everyone in the room know it was time to move on to the next drink. The themed music added a nice touch to the overall vibe. And there was clean and easily accessible restrooms. Free street parking is fairly abundant, and inexpensive parking is right next door if you don't want to walk. Things that I didn't like. Honestly, there were very few things I didn't like about the Obscure. The main note that I had was the music was a little bit loud at points, so I couldn't hear Taryn very well give the beautiful history about each cocktail. I personally have trouble mixing alcohols together as it makes me rather ill, so it was definitely interesting having 3 different spirits rather than one type, which is very typical of other tastings. For a lot of people, the exclusivity of the memberships would be a big turnoff. While I did end up purchasing a membership, I'm still on the fence whether that exclusivity is a bummer for me. For those without the ability to pay, I understand a level of disappointment when wanting to be in a stunning place like the Obscure. Luckily, they do have public events from time to time. Their Halloween night market was my first introduction, and I knew I had to come back. As for accessibility, with the exception of the members-only bar, the main guided tasting is on a single floor. The tables are well spread apart, and it's easy to move around. While the experience is almost entirely seated, one part requests that you stand up and pick up your drink, but a drink will be brought to you if you are unable. If you check out the website, they do have additional accessibility FAQs listed, which includes access to an ASL interpreter if needed and other options, which I very much appreciate and love that those are available. The music was a bit loud at points and the lights may flicker and change. Please keep that in mind if you have trouble with sound or lighting. As for the audience, the Obscure is open only to people 21 and over. While the experience is definitely geared to those who drink, some non-alcoholic options are available if you let them know ahead of time. This is an intimate and upscale experience. I would recommend it for a nice date or a special occasion. The dress code is requested as all black, so keep that in mind if you want to fit the aesthetic. For my personal recommendations, check the website to see the Season 1 and Season 2 menu so you can choose what cocktail experience you would like. Make sure to get food beforehand. There are a bunch of well-rated places within walking distance, or you can get food at the attached restaurant. The drinks are strong, and you don't want to go in on an empty stomach. Make sure to have a designated driver, or have a ride ready. My date was a self-proclaimed lightweight, so I ended up finishing a decent number of their drinks so that they could safely drive us after. Make sure to sign the guest book. It's a nice touch, and a lovely way to close out the evening. As for my ratings, I would say that the immersion is a 9 out of 10. The bar is immersive along with the furniture, which may have hidden secrets if you know where to look. There's also lovely plating and cups. The one thing that would have put it over the top is if the staff dressed in a more fantastical attire, but I do not believe that is necessary. I'd prefer comfort over complete immersion. For the menu, I won't really rate this section as I have with other Feed Me a Tale episodes. It is very clear that this is a set menu up front. I personally believe the drinks are fantastic, but everyone has their own preferences on what they enjoy. Food isn't always part of the experience, but I did love what I tried. For value for money, an 8.5 out of 10. For a lot of people, the ticket price would be a difficult thing to justify. Prices range from $64 to $110 per person, depending on the evening, time, and seating upgrades. When considering the cost of a cocktail in Los Angeles averages $17, just the 3 cocktails alone would be pretty close to the ticket price. You're also given 3 spirits, guided tasting, live art, and a great place to be away from the crowds. I would consider all of these to be very much justifying the price. As for the membership, I believe that there are a lot of benefits to justify the costs, but it may not be reasonable for people who just want to be able to walk into their favorite spot without needing a reservation. Overall, I give The Obscure a 9 out of 10. I was blown away by the level of care and creativity shown at The Obscure. It's beautiful, it's intimate, and a place I want to spend more time immersing myself in. I know they have big plans ahead, and I'll be there as a loyal fan every step of the way. I can't wait to go back tonight to spend some time with my close friends for my birthday. Until next time, you may receive a penny for your thoughts, but please do remember to upcharge when making deals with your soul. Check out our website, immersivexps.com, to join our free Ko-fi, which will have visuals and additional content of the immersive experiences discussed in each episode. You are an immersive experience artist or creator, no matter how small. Consider contacting us so you can take part on a future podcast. This podcast is recorded and produced by SoCal Podcast Studio in Orange County. Thanks for listening. There's also lovely plating and cups. And luckily, they do have As someone who is sick of subscription, I'm just having a hard time talking. Make sure to have a designated driver